I want to talk to you about how to change an LLC name. Let's have a conversation about that. So if you're interested in this topic, here is the perspective I want you to really have right now. So there are some reasons, and very good reasons, to change your LLC name, okay? So there are plenty of reasons to change the official name of your limited liability company. For example, let me give you an example. You may have noticed that your business name is getting confused with another brand. So this happens all the time. Or let's say a named member has died or left the business. So now basically the configuration in terms of naming has changed, and your business has grown actually to offer more than what the original name reflects. So again, so as not to confuse the customers, you just felt that it really made sense to rebrand. In other words, we have a new name, or you thought of a better name too. These things can happen. So if after, let's say, a brainstorming session, you'll think, you know what, a better name is available out there, then you can actually just change it. Now, there are alternatives to formally changing your LLC name. I really want to say that because depending on your reason, you may not need to go through the formal process of changing the name of your business. For example, most states allow you to file a certificate of correction if you just want to correct a typographical error you made when originally filing your formation documents. So you will find this certificate on your Secretary of State's or Corporations Division website. So basically, if it's just a typo, not a problem. Just fill it out and file it with the appropriate state agency along with the payment for the filing fee. That's it. Now, if you are looking to use a different name for strictly marketing purposes, you should consider registering a DBA instead. A DBA, short for doing business as, is a trade name you can conduct business under that's catchier and easier to market than your business's registered name. You can register a DBA name with your Secretary of State or Corporations Division by simply filing the appropriate form and paying the accompanying filing fees. That's it. Now, adding a DBA is probably the preferred option to a formal business name change because you can have this fictitious name in addition to your legal name. And so depending on your state, you may need to use the word assumed name, trade name, or fictitious business name. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let me talk to you now about the steps you need to follow if you are going to change your LLC name. So although the process of changing your LLC name boils down to just one single step, filing an amendment with the Secretary of State, the thing here is that you need to understand that there are a few best practices you should consider when changing the name of your LLC. So first of all, you need to check the name availability and compliance. What I'm trying to say here is that if you want to change your existing LLC name, the question is, the new name that you want to actually attach to your LLC, is that name available? Is that name legal? Is that name, from a regulatory perspective, is that name actually in sync with what the authorities in your state are actually are like the regulations in your state? So just like the name you chose when you originally formed your LLC, you have to make sure the new name is distinct from every other business registered in your state. If you're changing the name of a foreign LLC, be sure to check the new name's availability in every state your foreign LLC is registered. By the way, when we say foreign LLC, we're not talking about foreign LLC like a foreign from overseas, but foreign from like if you are in New York and you are actually doing business in Florida, you are a foreign LLC in Florida, and you are a domestic LLC in New York. So each state will have its own database of active business entities and their legal names on the Secretary of State or Corporations Division website. So you can use this tool to conduct a name search and ensure that your new LLC name will be distinct from any other business in the States. This is really important. So, and the thing here is that you have to make sure that all these elements are taken into account, and that from a business perspective, your name is catchier enough that it will actually appeal to your target audience. Because see, once the name is available, the name must also be catchier to be actually to resonate with your target audience. Otherwise, why should you change at all? Okay. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to change an LLC name. The next thing you want to do here is to get member approval for the name change. So the thing is that when we talk about changing an LLC name, we have to make sure that you actually need to get all member approval. Now, if you have a single member LLC, it's very easy, not a problem, okay? But if you have a multi-member LLC, make sure that you have all members approval, or at least the quorum, the quota that is indicated in your operating bylaws. Okay, this is an important element. So operating agreements, because that's the foundational documents that actually indicates how your LLC should be run. So your LLC operating agreement may require you to put major business decisions like a business name change to formal vote by the members of the LLC to ensure that everyone is on the same page. So if you're not set on one name yet, you can also compile a list of available names and have members vote on which name should be chosen for the business. That way, you would have done things beforehand. So before the name is even brought to the vote for formal vote, you have already taken care of the most important element. So now you need to file articles of amendment to officially change your company name. You need to update the articles of organization that you filed with the state when you formed your LLC. This is actually done by filing an Articles of Amendment form. So this document can usually be found on your Secretary of State's website. If not, you will have to contact the governing state agency and request the form. So once your Articles of Amendment are approved, you will receive a certificate of amendment, which is proof from the state that your business name has officially been changed. If you do not receive notification from the state, you need to contact them. Okay, now your amendment should be approved if your new name satisfies the state's naming requirements and your business is in good standing. Your business must be in good standing. Good standing means what? It means that your LLC is in compliance with state requirements such as filing annual reports, paying reporting fees, and maintaining a registered agent. So now you also need to amend your operating agreements. So as a general rule, you want your LLC operating agreement to reflect your business's most up-to-date information at all times. And there are no exceptions here. So once your name change is approved by the governing state agency, you should amend your operating agreement to reflect this new name. The next thing you want to do here is to notify taxing and licensing agencies. This is an important element because you are doing business with all those agencies, so you want to make sure they have the most up-to-date information about your LLC. So please update the IRS of the name change. In most cases, you can do so by simply filing your annual taxes with a new business name and checking the box on the form that indicates a new name. If you want to notify them before your annual taxes are due, you have to send a name change letter to the IRS. And the website doesn't actually have an official form for you to follow. However, the letter should include your EIN, so EIN, your employer identification number, the old name of your LLC as mentioned in the IRS records. It must match exactly what it is. The complete address of the business as it exists in IRS records, the new name of your LLC, date on which the LLC name was changed, the certificate of amendment from your state. So because the IRS wants to make sure that you have actually sought and received approval from state authorities, because remember, an LLC is a state affair. Stuff happened at the state level. The IRS has never approved any LLC in the first place. So they just want to make sure that if you're making changes, the state authorities are okay with that change. And they also want to see a signature of the business owner or another authorized person. This is so important. Do not play with this. And you also need to have a request for a confirmation from the IRS. And so this is important. Now, you may also need to obtain a new employer identification number when you change your official business name. However, you will only need to do this if you changed your business's tax status when you changed your business's name. For example, If you converted your sole proprietorship into an S corporation, you will need a new EIN. In this case, you can just obtain a brand new EIN and only use the new number from that on. So again, doing this change happens very easily on the IRS website. Additionally, you will need to notify any state and local licensing agencies of your name change if your LLC has received any business licenses to conduct operations. This is kind of important, especially if you have a professional corporation, like your architects or accountants or lawyers or doctors and what have you. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to change an LLC name. The thing is, you want to also update everything else I haven't talked about. Now, this is actually depending upon the industry you're in. So you're going to have to sit down and actually go through your work streams and see exactly what kind of interactions you have with vendors, for instance, with business lenders, so if you have, let's say, existing business line of credits or business lines of credit or business loans or business credit cards, you need to see actually the impact of this name change upon your operation from A to Z. So once you have filed the appropriate forms and updated the required parties, you can move on to the next step of updating everyone else that your business is operating under a new name. So if you open a business bank account, if you had contracts, let's say you actually signed a contract with a third party, or let's say you're like, whatever it is, you really need to notify the bank or credit card company or the other party, the other contractual party about the name change to update their records. If you invested in the websites, letterheads, signage, or business cards, you want to update your business name on all those marketing materials. This way, new customers will not get confused when they are introduced to your company. You should also notify any existing customers, vendors, or suppliers for the same reasons. So the thing is, you want to notify everybody else, and you want to do this as soon as possible, because the longer you wait, the worse. Because it's one of those things where you don't want to be in a situation where everybody's confused. You never want that, right? You do not want to have that situation. And this is why you can basically be sure that things are running really swiftly. In other words, when you actually do the name change, you are able to move on to the next level real fast. Because the name change, one thing I need to say here is that if you change your LLC name, it's not just the legal part is just the foundational part. It's just the minor part. The most important part is the branding part, the marketing part. Those really play more, play preeminence when it comes to the final analysis anyway. Let me give you a few pro tips here. So basically, you can change your business name online, your LLC name online. It's totally possible, but the thing is that it depends on your state authorities. Remember, when we talk about the LLC name, we're speaking about state affairs here. So the exact requirements and forms you will follow will vary state by state. However, a large majority of states will allow you to file articles of amendment online, and you can check if your state allows online filing on the website of the state agency you register your LLC with. And so when we talk about changing your LLC name, the price really depends on the state. Once again, you're talking about $50 all the way to $250. So the only cost to change your LLC name is the filing fee, which will vary in price depending on which state your business is registered in. So the cost will actually also increase if your LLC is registered in multiple states, because you will have to file a separate article of amendment in each state. Think about that. You can also pay an additional fee to expedite the name change process. Totally possible. Now, if you actually, you do not need a new EIN if you change just the name of the company, as I just said to you. You are usually not required to obtain a new EIN just because you changed the name of your LLC. You will still be able to use the EIN you originally received under a previous name, as long as you're not changing the tax status or business structure of your company. Okay. And but you need to notify the IRS though. You need to let the authorities know that, oh yeah, listen, I'm changing stuff here. I'm a new entity, so to speak. So you need to let the IRS know. And so there is there's a small step you need to follow that allows you to notify the IRS of the name change officially. So and you need to request a formal confirmation from the IRS that they indeed have received your request. Because otherwise, if they don't reply to you, this could be a problem, and you don't want to have that problem. This is definitely a problem you don't want to have. And the thing is that can your LLC have the same name as another LLC in a different state? This is totally possible. Why? Because LLCs are state affairs, right? So if you register your LLC in Nevada, and let's say you are John Doe LLC in Nevada, you can have John Doe LLC in Florida, you can have John Doe LLC in New Mexico, you can have John Doe LLC in New York. So this is totally possible because your LLC name can be the same as another LLC's name in a different state. Every state only requires you to have a name distinct from other businesses in that state. Still, be sure to check that the other LLC is not a foreign LLC that has been registered in your state. Because even if they're not registered in your state, they may have applied for a federal trademark registration. If so, you will not be able to file to use that same name without infringing on their trademark rights, regardless of whether they are registered to do business in your state. This is why you really want to be very clear. You want to conduct a national search when you are about to change the name, okay? And similarly, if you have your own foreign LLC, make sure your new name is available in every state your business is registered in. Otherwise, you could run into issues when updating every state of your new name when it comes time to do so. So when we talk about name changes, we're not talking about registering a DBA name. This is totally different, okay? So because a business name change is when you legally change your business name from the one that was on your LLC articles of organization to a brand new name. This name is subject to the same rules and restrictions as your original business name. For LLCs, this means your new name still needs a designator, such as limited liability company or some abbreviation thereof. Registering a DBA name is when you notify the state that your business will be operating under a fictitious trade name, in addition to the legal name your business was registered under. So a DBA name is not subject to the same naming requirements as a formal business name. For example, DBA names do not require a designator such as LLC at the end of the name. That's why DBAs are normally used for marketing purposes, since they usually look cleaner on a billboard or other signage. So the thing is that you are not going to lose your trademark if you change your business name. Not at all. If you only trademark the legal name of your business, you will only have trademark protection on that specific name. This means if you change that name, your trademark may or may not transfer to the new business name just because you changed the name or on file with your state. So if you want federal trademark protection, which you should seek anyway, on your new business name, you have to go through the trademark application process again. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just explained to you how to change an LLC name. So I give you the perspective. I actually give you the steps you need to follow and the pro tips. So the steps here, you need to check the name availability and compliance, get the member approval for name change, file articles of amendment, amend your operating agreements, notify taxing and licensing agencies, and update everything else. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.